Hello guys, and welcome back to another hunt. This is actually the group that we always hunt together anytime we can. So in this hunt we are going to be taking on a Diablos. You may remember the Diablos from Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, and I'm not too happy about taking on Diablos in this game because I do not yet have a set that has high-grade earplugs, so that is one of my favorite skills to always keep on. You can't get disrupted by monster roars, and with high grade at least I don't have to worry about any roars actually. So Diablos has a huge behavioral change in this game, and he tends to be quite large most of the time. As you can see right there, I get hit right away. It's great, huh? Sends you high and flying. So much larger hitboxes in this game for a Diablos, and he moves super quick. This is, I think, like one of my first one or two hunts that I've ever done. So, not too skilled at doing this, but it works out pretty well. I mean, I think we do get the capture. See, like I'm still too close. I'm still learning the movement patterns of this new creature. Well, it's not new, but it's basically new, right? So, very important, bring your Mega Potions. He does a huge amount of damage. But, as always, he is weak to the Ice element, so if you have that, go ahead and attempt to use it as much as you can. Right here, I'm just working on trying to cut off his tail because it gives him a huge attack range because he likes to twirl around and do the little tail spin, and then he also goes around and well, what is it? Oh yeah, it does that. Well, there's the tail spin, but when he after charging, he does that like double tail slam, and that's quite annoying to deal with. Yeah, right there. A lot of people, I don't know why, they just run right into that. Like after he's charging, it's like, oh, an opening, but they don't realize that he usually does that right after a charge. So you wait until after the first hit or so, and then you go in. But no. And as always, his scream is just as annoying as the first one. Well, not the first. I don't know. I think he was around since the first Monster Hunters. But sadly, in this game, he does not have a full armor set. But that gives you higher possibilities to mix and match a set to your liking. Because I think what I'm going to end up doing is actually getting his gunner armor, because it's a good set for Pierce. And then you can gem in something like, what is it? Pierce Shot Up, or I think a lot of people like to use the Bury Off parts because then they can get Evade +1. So right now, I think we do try to attempt to break the horn, but that's not the easiest thing to do since it's not a good idea to stay in front of this guy. Not in the slightest a good idea. So, well, as always, if he does rage after he exits rage and you hit him again once and he goes right back into rage, it means he's pretty much ready to die and get captured. So, depending on what you want to do, most of the time we do capture the creatures because not only is it quicker, but it gives us a chance for more rewards. Not better rewards in the least, but what it ends up doing is gives you more of the standard items you would get. Like, let's say you need scales or shells or something, you'd get more of those. But if you do kill and carve, carving actually gives you better chances at getting the rare items that most people do need. So, especially with those horns, you have to break at least both of them to get like a majestic, I think. He still has twisted and majestic horns in this game. A lot of people have the stout or twisted horns or stout horns or whatever that are very difficult, and people have a huge trouble trying to even get those cars from this creature. You can see he covers a huge distance pretty quickly, but the major thing, well, the only real thing I really liked about the change was he is now affected by exhaustion, which is awesome. And he cannot, I don't think he can break Pitfall Trap. Well, actually, he can go in Pitfall Traps now, and he can't break traps from digging under him. If I remember correctly, I might have to research that again, but it's right here, just trying to wait for my sword mode. I thought it was full, but I ended up reloading and wasting time. But I think he's exhausted, so he stayed in there. And being paralyzed doesn't hurt either. So with the Baroth switch axe, you know, as you saw, it actually inflicts that paralysis ailment. So once in a while, you get those little lightning sparks, and that's a good thing. The charge again, not a good attack. Never a good attack unless you really want to catch up to a monster. So anytime you do that, make sure your teammates are not in the way. Otherwise, you might cause them to be knocked down, and then once they get up, they're killed. Happens a lot. So switch axe is nice because I can keep attacking, and until that wind press is over, then I quit. And there you go. There's one of his new attacks. He likes to pound the ground, give a few quakes to stun people if they're nearby, and then launch himself towards them. His digging is quite fast in this game too. One of the major changes. So there he leaves. I think he's exhausted, so he's like going for the cactus flowers over there to try to restore his energy. And a good time for me to sharpen if need be, or heal up to full, but don't need to waste health potions that much. Everyone's got to watch out. Once he digs in, just go in circles around him, so that way he doesn't, you know, dig out from under you. Or try to avoid, if you're going around circles trying to avoid that, make sure you don't walk in front of somebody, because that is the worst thing that could happen, because then you end up baiting him to attack one of your teammates, which happens quite a lot online, as I've seen. Like, a lot of people suck fighting Diablos, and it ticks me off. I don't really enjoy hunting Diabloses with randoms, but these guys I've fought with quite a number of times, so we know what we're doing, and we're still learning, but you know, the synergy between the teams is still pretty good. Right over here, actually, one of these rock pillars or something, he can get his horn stuck in them. I was trying to do that, but not having luck. I was hoping he would charge, but he didn't do that. Right there, not what I wanted him to do. Still trying to go for the tail, but it's a lot harder to get tails in this game, because a lot of them are really high up. They keep them high up, and causes problems. Even with a switch axe, which is a very good tail cutting weapon, other than, you know, the long sword. And the great sword, if you don't have a hammer, might as well should be focused on hitting the head. But Diablos actually takes very little damage from the head, so wherever you can, yeah, please don't charge. not a good attack, and it wastes sharpness so bad. So there, I have to reload. I was trying to get another paralysis off, because those are always good, and that's a good hit whenever I can get those upper or overhead chops in, because that does 54% of your switch axe power, which is amazing, because that is the highest damage in axe mode, other than the sword mode, the burst at the end of that little thing. I kind of enjoy the switch axe. It's not the best weapon online, because you do end up tripping a lot of people, but I like it because it's the closest thing you can come to a gun lance in this game, because of the burst thing, which is kind of like a Wyvern's Fire. I do miss my Wyvern's Fire. Oh man, I wish gun lances were in this game so bad. I don't know why they took out a lot of these weapons, especially the bow. The bow would have been a sweet addition, because then more ranged options, because there's only, well, really only one range option, that's bowgun, but there's 3 variations to that, if you want to call it that. And dual swords, I don't know, it's not that hard to implement them again, but comparing what happened in Freedom Unite to Portable Third, there was a huge change in the way they behaved. I do like it much better, because you don't always have to be in demonized mode to be effective, and spamming the demon dance at every second you can possibly do, which a lot of people did, and still not the most effective, but depending on the monster you're fighting, sometimes it's the only option, because you bounce off so easily with the dual swords, especially compared to the sword and shield, even though like it's like carrying those 2 mini swords. Like, I don't know why they did that. It just doesn't make any sense. that like even green sharpness would bounce, just like unlike the sword and shield, which, you know, green sharpness can get you through most things. Now Diablos' oh, I didn't even get a good dodge there. Diablos' weak point is his little thing that bulges out under him. You got to hit him in his manhood, or depending on if you're worried about genders of monsters, it could be a female. So yeah, that is his weak point for slicing damage. I think the hammer is also the same spot because he takes like only 10% damage on his face. So very annoying. Now, if you want to break his horn, it's a very good idea to get someone to lay a shock trap and then try to bait him into it, and then just lay large barrel bombs. Because then that way you'll probably break his horns the quickest and save you a lot of trouble, and just go for his legs. If you can't hit his weak spot, go for the legs, because then that way when he does trip over, everyone could just lay onto him. So try to avoid hitting the wings, because almost all weapons bounce off of it, unless you're using like the hammer, and then even then you still can only use the super pound to hit through them, because usually the first hit will hit, and then the second, I don't know why the second hit on the hammer is actually can't go through objects, and that ends up destroying your triple pound combo that you like to do. So if you want a golf swing, I think your best bet is to try to do this the little whirlwind attack that doesn't get used much because you waste a lot of sharpness, and it's not the best thing to do anyways. So you know, I need to make myself a better switch axe. I think I'm still working on the Legiochris bolt axe, because with that, and it should be quite easy. Oh look, they broke both horns. He looks weird without his horns. He's kind of like an evil Hellboy. So there he goes. He's in rage mode and charging around. Try to avoid that. I don't think even the Superman dive can get you through that, because I think it lasts long enough that it will affect you even after you land on the ground. So I get hit there because of the boundaries. I do hate that, getting hit because of the boundaries, because you know, they should have missed, but then they slide across. So not a big fan of like whenever they make these maps and there's a very small area to fight them in. So there we go. We get a trip. Since I have a switch axe, I'm trying to get a paralysis off, so get a burst. Good damage in. And he's taking forever to dig in, because I think Elijah was right under him, like forcing him to like, no, you're not going anywhere, which was pretty funny. I think the kill's really soon. Yeah, the video's about to end, so. So there we go. We get a capture off on him. Good stuff. You see he's drooling, so he was exhausted. That means we had plenty of time to try to trank him if we didn't have our weapons unsheathed or sheathed. So there we go. Just beating on my Diablos. I hate this thing. But with the switch axe, actually, it doesn't hurt so bad to fight him. So I think I need to stick to the switch axe, because then I can have a chance to cut off the tail and also affect paralysis if I do have that vial. But once I get better switch axes, then that won't be the case. So, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see everyone in the next hunt.